Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to travel.
The summer after my freshman year, I went to Australia with the summer abroad program through the Animal Science Department, and last semester, first semester of my junior year, I went and studied abroad at Massey University at Palmerston North in New Zealand.
First semester I studied abroad in Montevideo, Uruguay. Then the following semester I studied abroad in Monterrey, Mexico.
I studied in Lund, Sweden, and I decided to go there because it was kind of untraditional as far as a location that most people go to study abroad.
I tell my students first day of class and on through the first 2 weeks that probably the most valuable thing they can do while they're in college is to go on a study abroad program, because it will enrich them, it will help them learn more about themselves, their interests, and their culture than any other way they could spend their time.
I think doing a study abroad program for me personally, it helped open my eyes and just learn that there's other people out there in different cultures, but they have a lot of similarities to people here. They have school to go to, they come home to their families, they have their life over the weekend.
I had a great time academically. I learned a lot in my classes and it was very interesting, a lot of hands-on things.
I didn't lose any time at all studying abroad. All of my classes were transferred. I even was able to get some of my general science courses to transfer as well.
As far as my credits and stuff that I took abroad, everything transferred back perfectly. What I did was about a year before I studied abroad, a year to a few months, I met with all my advisors and had all the courses approved. So it worked out beautifully when I came back.
My students point out that they're learning 24/7. They have to go shopping, they have to eat in either the restaurant at the university, or they have to go out and eat. They are interacting constantly with another language and another culture, and they learn so much from that.
My first semester in Uruguay, the living arrangement was staying at a residence with about 80 other students. They were all from Uruguay except for about 10 students. Some were from Mexico, some were from Germany, but most of them were from Uruguay. In Mexico, the second semester when I studied abroad, I stayed in the house with the host family, which was pretty awesome.
I spent a lot of time traveling around. I was just right across the sound from Denmark, so I took a couple trips there. I also took about a week road trip up to Norway, and I also took a long train ride up to the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle was very cold. It was about -22 while we were there, but I got to see the ice hotel. I got to go sit in a sauna on a frozen lake and dip into the freezing water and run around in the snow. So it was quite a crazy and unique experience.
I spent a month on the South Island of New Zealand after I'd finished my studies over the semester, and it was an amazing experience.
And the second semester in Mexico, I took 4 or 5 trips. One was to Mexico City, spent a week there. I went to Guadalajara, went to Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. And I must have went back to Mexico City about 2 or 3 times because I loved it, so it was awesome.
Everything was paid, my tuition was paid to the university here, and outside of that, the living expenses weren't exorbitant, and it was actually quite affordable and definitely worth every dollar spent.
I initially thought when I started researching that study abroad was going to be very expensive. You always hear that as a myth, but when I started doing research into it, I discovered that there are different types of programs, and I went on an exchange program, which means that I went to the university in place of somebody from that university, so we swapped.
The process for studying abroad was really simple. Everything's online, just about. The applications, information, you can look through the different programs and stuff. And we have a study abroad office here at NC State, and it's really simple just to go and meet with one of the advisors from a certain area.
My students, those who go on the 5-week program where they have 4 weeks in a classroom in a different country, come back and really want to expand on what the university has to offer. Their eyes are open culturally. They want to do things outside their small group of friends and their small major. Well, some majors are larger than others, it's true. But they really, I think, expand. They're making the most out of their time at NC State because they've seen it from the outside.
I know when I was first on the airport to go to Uruguay, I felt a lot of nervousness, and I remember boarding the plane and taking off, and I was like, oh man, do I really want to do this? And the year after, I'd say that it was one of the best decisions I've ever made to go study abroad.